Soha, the year at a glance. Annual review for residents and partners of the business year 2024-25. How Soha is run. Soha Housing doesn't make a profit. We invest 100% of our surplus in new homes. You'll hear us talk and write about shareholding membership that's open to any resident or employee, and Mark, our chair, mentions it in his piece at the end of this review. Shareholders at Soha don't receive a financial reward, like if we were a PLC such as British Gas, but they make the most important decisions at Soha. We actively encourage and support residents to engage with us in setting policy and then holding us to account for delivery. The responsibility for strategy and direction lies with the board. You can meet them at the end of this review. When a new board member is appointed, they are first nominated by a panel that includes residents and existing board members before being appointed through a vote of members at Soha's AGM, which is held every September. This is just one of the ways in which the members, the shareholders, have a key role in Soha's decision-making. Members are the ones who hold the board to account and monitor Soha's performance. Listen to the impact of resident engagement in all its forms in the Residents and Us magazine in this mailing. See where you'd like to fit in and know you'd be very welcome.
If you're a resident and a member, you can stand to be elected to Members Forum. The current Members Forum and the community or locality where they live are Anne-Marie O'Sullivan, Chair, Vale and West Community; Victor Breach, Vice Chair, Henley; Aurora Oconee, Henley; Margaret Buckle, Didcot; Bertie Doy, Didcot; Debbie Evans, Co-opted, Wallingford; Brian Foley, Henley; Peter Haynes, Vale and West; Clive Jepson, Didcot; Trish Langford, Vale and West; Deborah Longney, Vale and West; Elianne Pony, Co-opted, Vale and West; Richard Rule, Co-opted, Wallingford; Neelam Ruti, Co-opted, Henley; Kay Sentence, Tame; and Sarah Simmons from Tame. Apply for membership at www.soha.co.uk/membership or call us on free phone 0800 014 1545. It costs just £1 only once to become a member for all the time you remain a Soha resident.
You're very welcome here. Anne-Marie O'Sullivan, Chair of Soha's Members Forum, said, "Hello, my name is Anne-Marie, a Soha resident in Swindon, and I'm here to encourage you to listen to this annual report. Members Forum, a group of residents elected by you to represent them, of which I'm chair, provides the resident perspective on all the big policy issues Soha seeks to bring in. We pay close attention to how what Soha does is communicated to residents. As Soha's main source of income is the rent all of us pay, we think that them sending you a summary version of Soha's accounts and stats is important to give you a sense of the size, scope and priorities of our landlord. This is what this annual report aims to do. You just heard who sits on the forum with me, and if you'd like to come and observe our meetings in Didcot with an online option, you'll be made very welcome. Get in touch with me about this or anything else you'd like to bring to forum's attention on ri@soha.co.uk or by calling the resident engagement team at no cost to you on free phone 0800 014 1545.
Cape Waring Chief Executive says, "At the end of the last financial year, we signed off our corporate plan until 2030. It was a direct result of hundreds of conversations about what we should focus on in the next 5 years, and we're very grateful to you for the time you invested in helping us create this plan. You can read all our commitments on our website at www.soha.co.uk/corporate-publications. But here are a few of those priorities which we've already got moving. We've expanded the community model with engagement and communities officers who are actively creating or further developing local partnerships. Our aim is to help support residents moving in to develop roots in their neighbourhoods and build connections to work together on local issues. Soha Response, our in-house direct repairs and maintenance service, started on the 1st of May. Our aim in employing our own workforce is to increase your satisfaction with repairs. We're working on offering apprenticeships in the next business year, not only to add to the specialist staff we can send to your home, but also to boost the local economy. We're actively working to offer secure, affordable homes to a broader range of people in our communities, though this isn't a quick fix in a year. We aim to influence our partner local authorities to allow us to build more homes for social rent across a mix of housing types. After not developing many new homes last year, we have the aim of building a further 200 per year from April 2026. We're also upping the incentives for residents to right-size their existing Soha home so that everyone can have access to the right amount of space and reduce overcrowding. I hope we get to meet in the coming year. My ear is always open to residents. Get in touch with me on kwaring@soha.co.uk. Usually we send you our annual review, our formal update on the year's activities separately, but this year we're saving postage of around £7,500 by putting 3 publications in one envelope.
How you said we did in 2024-25. All housing associations like Soha are monitored by the Regulator of Social Housing, a government body. The regulator asks us to collect information about your satisfaction with our services. We collect it through our survey company, Acuity, which rings between 300 and 400 residents. Both tenants and shared owners are picked at random every 3 months. You can opt out of receiving these calls if you would prefer. Just email housing@soha.co.uk or call us at no cost on free phone 0800 014 1545. They ask each household the same questions, so we get a representative view on how residents think we're doing. Put together, these make up the Tenant Satisfaction Measures, TSMs. Every housing association must, by law, publish their TSMs on their website so that you can compare our results against any landlord you're interested in. All of Soha's results are updated at https://soha.co.uk/tenant-satisfaction-measures. We welcome the TSMs because not only do they help you assess how well we're performing, they also tell us where we need to improve. We report our TSM data to the regulator, who then decides how we comply with the 4 consumer standards, which we'll tell you about in a moment. We check how we're doing against around 250 landlords. We also show a comparison with last year's TSMs and the midpoint of other landlords' tenants' ratings of them.
Safety and Quality Home Standard. Satisfaction with Soha providing a home that is safe. Soha 2024-25, 83%. Midpoint of others 2024-25, 85%. And Soha 2023-24, 78%. Satisfaction with a well-maintained home. Soha 2024-25, 78%. Midpoint of others 2024-25, 74%. And Soha 2023-24, 79%. Satisfaction with repairs completed in the last 12 months. Soha 2024-25, 70%. Midpoint of others 2024-25, 77%. And Soha 2023-24, 71%. Satisfaction with time taken to complete repairs. Soha 2024-25, 70%. Midpoint of others 2024-25, 77%. And Soha 2023-24, 66%. Satisfaction with communal areas. Soha 2024-25, 73%. Midpoint of others 2024-25, 68%. And Soha 2023-24, 69%.
Transparency, influence and accountability standard. Satisfaction that Soha listens to views and acts upon them. Soha 2024-25, 70%. Midpoint of others 2024-25, 61%. Soha 2023-24, 70%. Satisfaction with ease of dealing with Soha. Soha 2024-25, 85%. Midpoint of others 2024-25, 73%. Soha 2023-24, 82%. Satisfaction with handling of complaints. Soha 2024-25, 38%. Midpoint of others 2024-25, 36%. Soha 2023-24, 42%. Keeping residents informed. Soha 2024-25, 83%. Midpoint of others 2024-25, 73%. Soha 2023-24, 79%. Treating residents fairly and with respect. Soha 2024-25, 86%. Midpoint of others 2024-25, 78%. Soha 2023-24, 85%.
Neighbourhood and community standard. Soha is making a positive difference in my community. Soha 2024-25, 73%. Midpoint of others 2024-25, 67%. And Soha 2023-24, 79%. Satisfaction with antisocial behaviour, ASB. Soha 2024-25, 66%. Midpoint of others 2024-25, 61%. And Soha 2023-24, 70%.
Tenancy standard. Satisfaction with overall service. Soha 2024-25, 80%. Midpoint of others 2024-25, 74%. Soha 2023-24, 81%. The information here is from tenants. Shared owners receive fewer services from us and so have less to give us feedback on. They reported their general satisfaction with us at 70%, against a median of 50% among the shared owners of the housing associations we benchmarked against.
About you. At 31st of March 2025, Soha had 17,657 residents in 8,002 homes. Of these, 6,552 were general needs homes and 909 were shared ownership. 361 were leasehold properties. 140 were supported housing homes and 40 were for intermediate rent, rented at 80% of the market rent, like affordable rents. The majority were adopted by Soha from the NHS when the rent amount was agreed at the time of property transfer.
You contacted us in a number of ways in 2024-25. We received 66,097 phone calls, not just from customers, 16,090 emails, 790 Facebook direct messages or chat conversations, the Message Us arrow on the bottom right of the front of Soha's website, www.soha.co.uk. Our neighbourhood teams managed 328 cases of antisocial behaviour.
About your home. Between the 1st of April 2024 and the 31st of March 2025, we installed 224 replacement kitchens, 362 replacement windows or doors, 9 air source heating systems, 160 gas heating replacements, 86 replacement bathrooms, 56 replacement roofs, 93 major and 158 minor disability adaptations. We had a 22-day target to relet homes where only minor works were necessary. In fact, our average was 21 days. We received 16 new disrepair claims between April 2024 and March 2025. We had to settle 6 disrepair claims, but 12 remain ongoing, either being investigated or defended by Soha solicitors and expert surveyors. The claims that have been settled have cost Soha in the region of £76,270. When you break these costs down into where the money has been paid out, it looks like this. Soha spent £9,000 to expert surveyors to investigate the claim of disrepair in the form of a property inspection and report. We also spent £52,340 in solicitors' fees. £41,950 of this has been paid to the claimant's solicitors, who are making the claim against Soha for their costs. And £10,390 has been paid to Soha's solicitors in trying to defend these claims. £14,930 has been paid out in damages to the 6 residents whose claims were successful. These have ranged between £680 and £6,000, depending on the extent of the disrepair and the timescale that the disrepair has remained outstanding in the property. All the damages that have been paid out to residents may also be subject to additional deductions, based on the agreement that the claimant has with the solicitor who is working on their claim. So the overall damages Soha has paid out on these 6 claims may not reflect what a resident finally receives by the way of a final settlement of their claim for disrepair. Find out important information about disrepair claims before you decide if this is the right route for you at www.soha.co.uk/disrepair. In December 2024, a resident was ordered to pay Soha's costs of nearly £7,000 when their case against us was unsuccessful. Choosing to work with a disrepair solicitor is not without risk. If you're unhappy about the repair state of your home, a faster resolution to the problem usually comes by contacting Soha's complaints team on complaints@soha.co.uk or via www.soha.co.uk/feedback. Hear more about the complaints we received last business year in the section When Things Go Wrong later on in this annual review. We achieved 84.5% repairs fixed at the first visit against a target of 85%. And 99.9% of our homes complied with the government's Decent Homes Plus standard. We carried out 889 stock condition surveys. As a landlord, we need to know the condition of your home so we can effectively plan any work needed to keep it in a good state of repair. We aim to make this a once every 5 years visit.
About this annual review. If you're reading this review as a paper copy, even though you've told us that you prefer not to receive any Soha publications at all, don't worry, we have taken note of that. Just once a year, though, we want you to have the opportunity to read how Soha Housing is governed and managed, and what happens to your money. Plenty of residents decide to stay in touch by getting publications, including the annual review, by email. Maybe you'd like to join them. Just let us know at communications@soha.co.uk or call the team at no cost to you on free phone 0800 014 1545. If you'd like to sign up for the newsletter for your community or locality, the electronic versions of our Home Talk magazine, or to receive our publications in large print as audio on a USB stick, or to have it read to you with the help of an interpreter, please contact Soha's communications team on communications@soha.co.uk or free phone 0800 014 1545. How each pound of your rent was spent in 2024-25. Interest payment 27%. Management 7.7%. Routine maintenance 27.8%. Service charges 5%. Planned maintenance 14.4%. Surplus, excluding property sales, 4.8%. Depreciation 12.8%. Bad debts 0.5%. We invest 100% of our surplus in building new homes. Depreciation is an accounting term. It means how much of an asset's value has been used up over its useful life expectancy. For example, a kitchen which costs £8,000 and has a life expectancy of 20 years would cost Soha £400 each year for 20 years. Management is the cost of running all our services. This is made up mostly by the Housing Management Service, which includes our lettings team, neighbourhood team and rental income team. Management also includes the costs of running the business, such as finance and IT. Surplus, in this context, means money reinvested to provide new homes. Bad debts are rent arrears which we have been unable to recover. Reasons for this may include debt relief orders where debts are written off by the court, insolvency, or when a tenant has died and there's no money left in their estate to pay owed rent.
Where the money goes. Most of Soha's income is from rent. Soha's income excluding property sales was £59.7 million. 27 households bought a larger share of their home, and 10 new shared ownership homes were sold. Property sales, which included 4 homes sold on the open market and 5 right-to-buy, acquire sales, brought in a surplus of £4.9 million. With the income, we spent £32.3 million on maintenance and improvements to tenants' homes, £7.5 million on other costs, including staff. After interest payments of £15.8 million, our surplus was £9 million. We use this along with loan finance to provide new homes for people who need them at a cost of £31.8 million. We developed 77 new homes during the year. Money spent on Soha's staff and board. In the last business year, the Chief Executive was paid £134,832, 4-day working. Directors, full-time, were paid within the range of £110,000 to £140,000. You can meet Kate, Nazreen, Matt and Andy later in this annual review. Soha's chair was paid £14,663 and the vice chair £8,478. Board members were paid £5,685. Chairs of board committees were paid £9,234. Meet the board in the section How We're Run later in this annual review. Staff training. In 2024-25, we spent £157,000 on broad learning and development, with a further £30,000 on vocational training, things like professional qualifications and conferences. You can get more detailed information from our audited accounts, which are published at www.soha.co.uk/publications. Or if you'd prefer a hard copy, just get in touch using the contact details at the end of this annual review.
When things go wrong. We try to give a good service, but we know we don't always get it right. We take and action complaints and feedback by phone, email, letter, direct message, or in person when we visit you or you come to our offices in Didcot. On the 1st of April 2024, the complaints process that all housing associations like Soha have to abide by changed. While we still aim to get a resolution for you quickly, we now record even the things that we solve immediately as formal complaints. Between the 1st of April 2024 and the 31st of March 2025, we opened 737 formal complaints from residents. 609 were dealt with as a quick response, with 129 of these going to full investigation. This is a decrease from the previous year of 11%. As in the previous 2 years, it was repairs that you complained about most, 483 complaints in total. Within that, it was the quality of the repair that you were most dissatisfied with. Nearly 29% of the 483 were about this. We had difficulty making sure that the remedies we offered as a response to a Stage 1 complaint were actually carried out and within a reasonable timescale because we were reliant on a contractor. Now that we have Soha Response, whose employees are directly controlled by Soha, we expect those figures will be significantly different in the current business year. When you're not satisfied with how we respond to your complaint, you can take it to Stage 2, where your complaint is reviewed by a panel made up of one member of Soha's senior leadership team and one member of the complaints team who hadn't been directly involved with your initial complaint. In 2024-25, we heard 56 of these, compared to 20 in 2023-24. At the majority of these Stage 2 hearings, 54, our response at Stage 1 was upheld or partially upheld, but in 2 cases the panel found that Soha had responded inadequately. You can see a full breakdown of complaints in 2024-25 on the complaints part of our website at www.soha.co.uk/feedback. It includes a summary of what we learnt from complaints in the last business year. A complaints working group made up of staff and residents discusses these and proposes changes to policy if necessary. Common themes were quality of repairs and communication around them. The feedback we got from complaints helped us build Soha Response with your needs at its heart.
We care about your privacy. Subject Access Requests, SARS. We received 24 SARS in 2024-25, an increase from 19 in the previous year. This is much the same as for other housing associations. In a number of these cases, residents have ongoing issues or a complaint already raised with us. Data breaches. Soha had 23 data breaches in 2024-25. That's an increase from 21 in the previous business year. A number of them were as a result of communications being misaddressed. In each case, we contacted the person the information had been sent to and asked them to delete it and confirm they had. We give staff annual training on keeping company and resident data confidential and have an automatic encryption service for our emails where they contain any sensitive information or resident data. Soha also has appropriate legal agreements about data sharing with any supplier that needs to see your data. An example of this would be the mailing house used to send this publication to you. We're committed to being open about how we work and to keeping your data secure. If you have a problem with our service or want to know more about how we manage your data, please let us know. The Data Protection Officer is Richard Hullin, and you can reach him on dpo@soha.co.uk or at no cost to you on free phone 0800 014 1545.
Everyone is different, acting on diverse needs. Soha has an Equality, Diversity and Inclusion EDI strategy, with a number of commitments to help us strengthen and embed EDI into our organisation. Knowing that someone in a household needs special consideration allows us to react more helpfully, so we're pleased that we now hold data for 95% of residents. Thank you to everyone who has supplied their information when we've asked. By holding data, we mean things like noting down your preferences on whether you'd like longer to answer the door, or to have publications like this one in audio or large print versions. We now routinely offer easy read summaries on video and in print of policies we're putting out to consultation with our co-regulation groups. Find out more about these groups in the Lettings section of the Residents and Us magazine with this review. A particular focus at the moment is finding out more about how we communicate with our residents aged 25 to 34. Asked about their satisfaction with Soha in our rolling survey, hear more on this year's tenant satisfaction measures earlier in this review. This group is more likely to be fed up with repairs and with their neighbourhood. We're investigating what lies behind this. Give your feedback to your local team at their events when they send out the newsletter, or just pick up the phone at any time. It won't cost you anything if you call us on free phone 0800 014 1545. Please get in touch with us at housing@soha.co.uk or free phone 0800 014 1545 if it would help you to have a translation of Soha communications.
How we're run. The Soha Housing Board from September 2025. The Soha Board, which has responsibility for Soha housing, is currently made up of 13 members. 5 are Soha residents with relevant experience and skills. 6 are local people with professional experience and business skills. 1 may be a co-opted member, someone who's invited by other members to join the board. Currently, this role is filled by an independent person with relevant experience and skills. 1 is an executive officer of Soha. This is Soha's chief executive, Kate. The job of the board in any organisation is to set the direction of the business and make strategic and financial decisions. Members are elected at the September Annual General Meeting, AGM, and they meet regularly throughout the year to discuss finance and business strategy. You can get in touch with any board member via Soha's Governance and Regulation Manager, Marissa, at melliott@soha.co.uk. Soha Housing's board members for September 2025 are Mark Goldring, Chair, Victoria Dingle, Vice Chair and Chair of Personnel and Remuneration Committee, Naomi Barrand, Audit and Risk Committee Member, Janet Crooks, full board member to July 2025, continues as Audit and Risk Committee Member, Jenny Eklund, until September 2025, Personnel and Remuneration Committee Member, Dave Lakin, Chair of Audit and Risk Committee, Emma Luddington, Personnel and Remuneration Committee Member, David Modi, Audit and Risk Committee Member, Peter Nkum Jr., Personnel and Remuneration Committee Member, Peter Sloman, Co-opted Board Member, Personnel and Remuneration Committee Member, Chair of Soha Response, Hayley Smith, Personnel and Remuneration Committee Member, Martin Thorne, also sits on the board of Soha Response, and Kate Waring, Chief Executive. You can find short biographies of everyone on both boards, that's the Soha Response board too, at www.soha.co.uk/our-boards.
Mark Goldring, chair of the Soha board, says, "As someone who lives in South Oxfordshire, I had been aware of Soha for quite a time before becoming chair of the board in 2024. What has delighted me in my first year is what Soha's commitment to be community-based means in practice. It's not just a matter of staff meeting residents at local events, but a model of mutuality written into Soha's DNA. Staff consult with residents about Soha's strategies and policies and invite any resident who'd like to become a shareholding member of Soha and take part in the biggest corporate decisions. At the first AGM I attended, members approved a proposal to increase the limit on the amount of money we can borrow. This means that we can build more new homes. That's the kind of thing I mean by big. Meeting residents has been a highlight of my year, and I hope very much that you will continue to feed back to me and the board about Soha's services. The Resident Engagement Impact Report in this bundle of magazines tells you about many of the opportunities available, from the very informal right up to joining me on the board. You just heard who we all are, and you can contact us via Soha's Governance and Regulation Manager, Marissa Elliott, on melliott@soha.co.uk, or call us at no cost to you on free phone 0800 014 1545. The directors of Soha making day-to-day decisions and their contact details are Matt Archer, Director of Housing and Communities. Email marcher@soha.co.uk. Andy Tollett, Director of Property Services. Email atollett, that's TOLLETT, @soha.co.uk. Nazreen Hussain, Director of Finance and Resources. Email nhussain@soha.co.uk. And Kate Waring, Chief Executive. Email kwaring@soha.co.uk.
Get in touch. Email housing@soha.co.uk. Phone, no cost to you, 0800 014 1545. This number connects to our out-of-hours service, Orbis Protect, outside Soha's business hours. That is in the evenings, at weekends and on public holidays. Post or visit Soha Housing, Royal Scott House, 99 Station Road, Didcot, OX11 7NN, opposite Didcot Parkway Station. Website www.soha.co.uk. You can also find web chat on our website as an extra way of getting in touch during our office hours. Find us on Facebook, Soha Housing, Instagram @Soha Housing, LinkedIn, Soha-Housing, and YouTube, Soha Housing. My Soha portal. Register at www.soha.co.uk/mysoha or by downloading My Soha on your smartphone. Manage your tenancy on any internet device 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. You can download on Google Play or on the App Store. Copyright Soha Housing 2025. A charitable registered society under the Cooperative and Community Benefit Societies Act 2014, number 28410R. Authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Regulated by the Regulator of Social Housing.
Our Soha, the year at a glance. Annual review for residents and partners of the business year 2024-25.